I don't know that I have the words to describe the emotion that I still feel when I think about Dinah, my first guide dog. Dinah was a golden retriever, and she came to me at a time when I was working for Good Morning America, doing concerts, traveling full time. And for 9 years, Dinah literally took me from city to city, hotel to hotel, concert stage to concert stage. But like everything in life, there's a moment when Dinah began to grow old and was in a place where she knew that she couldn't do the work anymore. And it actually occurred in the middle of LAX airport when my beautiful Patty was with us. You tell them the story.
It was a pretty devastating time in our lives, and I could see your concern. Dinah's trainer had let us know that there would be some signs from her when she got to the end of her work life. And while she was home and she was frolicking and loving our family on the road and under the harness, she was wavering. And I walked behind you on that day at LAX and saw the insecurity of her making a decisions she had made for 10 years with you that were very exacting, taking you to a gate, getting you to a chair that you were indicating. But she had lost that focus, and we knew then that what Smitty had predicted was in fact happening, and that you needed to consider retiring Dinah and bringing in a new guide dog.
I was so, Patty, so affected by this. I mean, I didn't know how to handle it. It frankly was more than I was prepared to handle. But the new dog had to come. And his name,
who did you call?
Well, yeah. First of all, the new dog had to arrive, and his name was Nelson, and he was a black lab. And as far as Dinah was concerned, he was a complete intruder. About a month after Nelson arrived, there was one morning when I was putting the harness on Nelson to go to work, and Dinah desperately tried to get into the harness and push the black lab out of the way, and I could feel her pain, her frustration, and then for about the next 5 days, she went under the bed and wouldn't come out and wouldn't eat and wouldn't drink. I didn't know how to handle it, and as you said, who are you going to call? Betty White.
Of course.
Well, Betty came down for dinner, remember that?
I do.
And at the time, she had just lost the love of her life, Alan. Now she had, what did she have?
She had Timmy, and I think she had...
Cricky?
She might have had Cricky then, yeah. Timmy and Cricky.
And Bobcat the cat, right?
Yeah. Not Bobcat
Oh,
yet.
he wasn't there yet.
He wasn't there yet.
But there were already two very frisky, wonderful dogs living in her house. In the middle of the dinner, out of nowhere, she said, Tom, I know this is a lot to ask, but having lost Alan, I wonder if you'd consider letting me take Dinah. And that was incredible. Dinah went to live with Betty and had 6 incredible years, including what? Show business, huh?
Yeah. She had a new show business career herself.
Yeah, I'll never forget our son saying, well, you know, Dad, you were sort of a little star. Now Dinah lives with a big star.
Exactly.
But isn't it, I guess the point is, for both of us, is that Betty has always entered our lives.
At critical times.
Don't you think?
At critical times, yeah.
And every time she's entered our lives, she's improved our situation, she's changed our lives. It's always because her, and I'm quoting you now, her pearls of wisdom, so well expressed in your book, have always been guideposts for our lives.
She was the mentor that you just had to understand from her wisdom, from her point of view. Betty was 25 years older than you and I, and she had such wisdom, whether it was regarding our beautiful pets or the show business career or life itself, because she lived on a plane of such values and commitments, and she was unwavering. And that's why we had such trust in her and why it all worked out.
You know what I'm thinking? Because I know she'd appreciate this, and I know she's listening. Yeah. She became my seeing eye Betty.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, she was your
My
seeing eye
seeing
Betty.
eye Betty.
Well said.